Yo guys, Phil here with BLP3 Motors, and today I'm back with Matt.
Yo.
And we are sitting in his 2018 Civic SI. And so basically with this video, we want to talk about basically this. Should you buy the Civic SI or should you buy the Sport hatchback model? But before we get into the conversation here, make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe, make sure to watch some more other videos. We have a playlist going on right now, more SI videos. I got a Type R playlist. We've got a Honda Civic Hatchback EX playlist, Sora, RIP. But yeah, so topic at hand, should you pick the SI over the Sport or the Sport over the SI? There are a couple things that I've noticed, and I've sat in both cars, kind of done some research, and so I know these cars are kind of new, so not a lot of people have got to sit in all the models, and they're sometimes based on where you live, they're not readily available to kind of just they got one or the other, and you're kind of like, well, crap. But I guess first and foremost, if you're going to be a diehard manual person, I'm gonna say get the SI.
Oh yeah.
And this is why I'm gonna say it. This has a lot of the amenities that I love about the EX that I would have not picked the Sport model for. Now, this has, it's got the sunroof, it's got the big touchscreen, it's got the push start. Does it have the doors that, like, you touch the doors and they open?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's got all that technology in it. And I mean, honestly, I didn't know that I was going to be so in love with having a keyless entry.
It's so rad.
And that's one thing that the Sport doesn't have. You have an actual physical key, and you put the key in the car, and you keep it there. And that's I just grown to not like that as much.
I'm lazy, and so I like that whenever I just walk away from the car, it locks itself.
Now, I will say, though, that if you are in love with the look of the hatchback, the Sport is freaking awesome, because the Sport has your dual center exhaust. I wasn't a big fan of that, but
SI has center exhaust too, though.
Yes, that's one thing I was going to mention, but the Sport has the dual center exhaust, and then on the inside, it's got a lot more sporty flair compared to the EX model, compared to the LX model. And then kind of like the best of both worlds would be the Sport Touring, but I don't believe the Sport Touring comes in manual. I don't think so.
I don't think it does.
And that would be a big turnoff.
Well, if you're going to spend the money on a Sport Touring, you might as well buy a Type R, because they cost almost the same. The Sport Touring was like 35 grand almost.
The Sport Touring did come out, though, before the Type R, so I think you may find some better deals. But I mean, specifically, I guess for this video, though, we're talking about people that want the manual transmission. They want the gearbox, and that's the make or break kind of thing. Now, I don't believe that as far as the gearbox is concerned, the Sport and the SI are that different.
However, especially if you're going to compare them transmission to transmission, the SI has a limited slip differential, whereas the Sport does not.
Okay.
And so the gearbox might be really similar, and they might shift the same.
Okay.
But you're going to get the power to the ground way better with the SI than you will with the Sport.
Right on, right on. And I will say, though, for something the Sport has, so I love the fact that this has the big touchscreen, but the downside of having the big touchscreen is there's no freaking volume knob, and that gets really annoying. Where the Sport model
doesn't bother me,
dude. It bothers me. And one thing too,
steering wheel controls, man.
Well, the older models of the Civic that had that had the flick where you just rolled it down, and it did that. But that one,
the SI never had it. The EXs, I think, dropped it in 2017.
Oh yeah.
But you can actually buy that part from Honda, and it's plug and play.
Really?
Yep. So if you really like that, you can replace that part for relatively cheap.
And so if you're more leaning on the Sport side, I do love the body style of the Sport, where it's got like, I love the lip that comes with it. I love the side skirts that come with it. It's way more aggressive compared to an EX or LX model.
Oh, sure.
Now, the SI doesn't have some of those aggressive underbody stuff that the Sport has, I believe. So, I mean, it's got its own unique shape to it, but basically, like, here's the thing. If it were me, I would choose the SI over the Sport. But if you're in love with the hatchback, guys, I mean, it's a really great car. The Sport is a great car. I mean, these both have the, dual exhaust, except this one's shaped a little differently from the factory, but you can, one aftermarket exhaust swap, and they're pretty much the same. but you get a lot more tech in the SI, and I think that for me that wins me over, because I'm a comfort creature and I like to have tech in the car. You know, I mean, I want to have the sport feel. Like I don't want to sacrifice sport, you know, for tech. I want them both. And I feel like the SI really marries all of that together. I heard a rumor that they may be discontinuing the sport model. I don't know and don't confirm that, but I just heard I heard a rumor, and it would kind of make sense if they did, only because of how much tech and stuff comes in this car.
Right.
It's almost like this is competing with the EX model, but it's not quite a Type R. You know, it's a step above. For me, it feels like a step above the EX.
Yeah.
It kind of has everything that the EX has. It even has the lane turn indicators on the right lane. That's one thing that I miss actually driving the truck now. I miss the, you know, flicking the right turn signal and then the picture not being there anymore. I'm like, oh crap.
So you don't have that at all on the truck?
No, I have a 2014, and so I'm not sure with the newer Rams if they have that, but they don't have that in my model, and that's one thing that I miss, and one thing I took for granted, and one thing I didn't think was a big deal.
Every time I get in my wife's car, since I've had this thing, and I go to turn right, I look down expecting to see a picture of what's on that side
now,
of the car.
don't quote me on this, but I don't believe the Sport has that either.
That sucks.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Well, if they don't have display audio, if they just have the
backup camera,
the smaller head unit, then I don't think they would have lane watch, because I think that only comes with the display audio.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm sure someone on the internet will correct me.
But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, man. Thank you so much for having, taking the time to hang out with us. And guys, make sure to blow up the
excuse to drive my car, man.
Make sure to blow up the comment section. Make sure to talk to us. We want to hear from you. Dude, just thanks for showcasing your car and, you know, creating a series with us.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I know they love to see, you know, this vehicle, and they like to hear from us, and so I appreciate you guys again, guys. So we'll catch you on the next one, and make sure to check the links in the description. T-shirts by T-shirts.